Welcome back to my MCU rewatch. This is episode 2, and today I will be reviewing The Incredible Hulk. This movie came out just 1 month after Iron Man, and I'm gonna say something kinda controversial. It's not as good as Iron Man. My real controversial opinion is this movie isn't nearly as bad as people say it is. It's aggressively fine. So, without further ado, let's discuss the good and the bad in The Incredible Hulk. The first thing I really enjoyed was that the movie didn't waste any time with the origin. It's just shown in the opening montage, the whole accident with Bruce Banner and him becoming the Hulk. The movie didn't feel like it needed to have unnecessary explanations for things. You can easily follow along as the audience, even if you don't know a ton of Hulk lore. For me, William Hurt is the standout amongst the cast as Thunderbolt Ross. He naturally feels like a character that has authority within the movie, but doesn't need to be too over the top to establish his dominance. Tim Roth also is fine as Blonsky/Abomination. My only issue is that the character was a little bit too one note. I'll get into more details as the video goes on. I actually really enjoyed how this movie took its time to reveal the Hulk, and maybe this is also controversial. I enjoyed the Hulk's design in this movie much more than in later interpretations in the MCU. I just felt like this one was a little bit more intimidating. Lastly, in the things that I enjoyed in this movie, I really like that the Hulk is this curse that Bruce Banner really needs to overcome or has to learn to deal with, and I feel like it's really well explored in future MCU movies. On to what didn't really work for me. The first thing is Betty and Bruce really don't have good chemistry at all. I know in the previous episode in Iron Man, I praised how Pepper Potts and Tony Stark had this great chemistry. It's really lacking in this film. Betty and Bruce seem to have all the chemistry of that awkward couple you might see while you're waiting in line for a ride at Disney World.
Shoelace. Merry Christmas, Harry.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that one. And the way that Liv Tyler just delivered some of her lines just made it seem like she didn't really want to be there, which was very odd in my opinion. The plot is fairly basic, which I guess is to be expected from these earlier movies in a new franchise. I didn't care for Bruce Banner in this movie at all. I feel like his character is a little bit of a blank slate, and they didn't do a great job of making him seem like one of the most intelligent minds in all of Marvel. This movie had a darker tone, which I didn't mind for the character of the Hulk. However, because of that, I felt like it lacked a sense of charm that I saw in Iron Man and in later MCU installments. Some side characters are introduced in this movie, but their stories aren't really picked up until way later in the MCU. Mostly Samuel Stearns as the leader, but even Thunderbolt Ross and Emil Blonsky/Abomination. I think they could have had a little bit more time and effort put into these characters and their relationships with one another throughout the Infinity Saga, instead of just randomly revisiting their stories in She-Hulk or a random Captain America movie 18 years later. And speaking of Emil Blonsky, I thought his character was really frustrating. He's a soldier that's basically jealous of the power that Bruce has and just sees him as this fun challenge to overcome. So because of that, at times he feels more like a physical obstacle for Bruce/Hulk than a layered villain, especially in the third act. And that about wraps up my thoughts on The Incredible Hulk. It's a movie that's overshadowed by many of the better movies that are found in Phase 1. It's not as bad as I remember it being, but it's definitely not one that I plan on revisiting again anytime soon. I give this movie 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's a very okay, average superhero movie, especially of that time. I think it's a bad sign when you can basically just skip this movie altogether and just rely on the introduction of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in the Avengers movie. In the next episode in this series, we will be revisiting Tony Stark in Iron Man 2, and I'll see you all in that one. But until then, take care.